You may have heard of the term cryptocurrency before, but maybe this seems confusing to you. It is a term that we are increasingly listening to more and more. Therefore, it is convenient to become to familiarize yourself with this word, because surely it will be part of lots news in the near future. Cryptocurrencies are becoming a reality, and their arrival will have a seismic effect on industries and entire nations. And I will explain what you should know so that you have a clear image of this concept. Also, what they are for and how they are used. Thus, you can know much more about this word that will bring much to talk about. So, do you know what cryptocurrencies are? Well, a cryptocurrency is a digital means of exchange. They are used to exchange your money for them in order to carry out transaction. The best known of all and the first to start trading is Bitcoin. Surely you already know Bitcoin. Therefore, cryptocurrencies should not be a mystery. Its operation is the same as that of the famous Bitcoin. It is true that there are notable differences between Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies. The value of the first is much higher than the others, a huge difference. But in general, most cryptocurrencies have emerged later and are very similar to the original. They work in the same way and they were created with the same objective. So what are some of the main cryptocurrencies? Apart from the aforementioned Bitcoin, the list of the most relevant is the following on the screen. Litecoin, Megacoin, Peercoin, Dogecoin, Ripples, Namecoin, Quark, ProtoSharks, WorldCoin. Now, there's a couple of advantages of cryptocurrencies. Well, many of the users who use of these virtual currencies consider that they have an important series of advantages over real money. In addition, they help us to have an impression on the way in which these virtual currencies work. They are decentralized. There is no government or institution that controls them. They are international. They can be used in any country. They are secure. If you buy a currency, it is your exclusive property. It is anonymous. Anonymity and privacy in transaction are reserved. They are without intermediaries. There's no middleman, so transactions always carried out from one person to another. Then the speed. All transactions are much faster than through a bank. The voluntary use. A user uses a virtual currency because he wants to use it. It is not something imposed by a government. So thanks to these advantages, we can get a good idea about the way they work. But the absence of a government or an institution that dictates how and when to produce them, and that also has the power to give them a certain value, is something that attracts many users. So no one has the power in this case. Users decide whether to buy or not, and it is always possible to buy. What are cryptocurrencies for? Well, thanks to cryptocurrencies, it is possible to make payments. There are more and more platforms that allow us to make payment with them, and at least with Bitcoin. So we are seeing how their use is expanding. Are they used only for online payments? Many web pages support payment with Bitcoin, and there are some physical stores that also provide that option. For example, on some travel website, it is possible to pay your reservation using Bitcoin if you wish. And they are not the only ones. The computer manufacturer Dell, in its online store in the United States, also accepts that you make payments with Bitcoin. And another giant like Microsoft also accepts them. So it is possible to buy digital content in your store, paying with the famous Bitcoin. And there are also physical stores that begin to join this movement, although their growth is much slower. And across the United States, there have been some shops that accept them, but it is not something that is expanding at great speed. There are still very few businesses in which it is possible to use them. In addition, to be able to pay in a physical store with Bitcoin or another virtual currency, it is necessary to have an account with them. Currently, it is possible to open an account with a debit card with Bitcoins. And there are services today such as Xapo, where you can get a debit card that works as a kind of Bitcoin wallet. It still has a long time for cryptocurrencies to be established in the market. But what do you think of cryptocurrencies? Surely they will become the way to do future transactions.